Hello there! This is a 1962 Austin A35 van. Specifically, it's the van my father bought in the 1960s, and I'll explain why it should never, ever, ever have gone anywhere near snow. We'll also summarise the mechanical specification, look at some more old pictures, and consider some of the things that went wrong. This van also had a modification which was, how can I put this nicely, not particularly good for road safety. Oh dear. Welcome to Cast by TV. Right, let's start with the dirty subject of money. In 1966, when this Austin A35 van was 4 years old, it was for sale at a garage for £169. Here's an invoice to prove it. However, my father boldly walked into the garage and he said, no way, that's far too expensive. The salesman therefore reduced the price of the van to only £149, so father bought it. But what did he actually get for the money? This 1962 Austin A35 van had a 948cc petrol engine that produced about 34 brake horsepower. The engine was bolted to 4-speed manual transmission that had synchromesh on 2nd, 3rd and 4th gear. The van also had steel wheels that had ventilation slots to keep them cool, coil spring suspension at the front, and leaf spring suspension at the back. The Austin A35 van had other interesting features too. It had Trafficators, for example. The Trafficators were an old-fashioned style of indicator. They were also reminiscent of metal arms and, when not in use, sat flush within the vehicle's bodywork. Here's a picture of the Trafficator on the left. So, when father indicated the change of direction, a Trafficator popped up like this. Other people then knew where the van was going. I'd better put my arm down, I'm not turning right. However, father decided that Trafficators were far too old-fashioned, so he personally fitted these indicator lights. This involved drilling holes through the bodywork and playing with electrics, so it was a big job for a young man with limited experience, basic tools and no help. Do you think he was worried? Father also added these rather stylish kidney choppers to the top of the headlamps as they were fashionable at the time. But perhaps that wasn't a good idea. So, can you guess why they were called kidney choppers? It's because they were the perfect height to chop a pedestrian's kidneys if there was a collision. Now, one winter's day, after all these modifications, the Austin A35 van was driving along when it started to snow. Hard. Snow therefore piled up at the side of the road, and on the pavement, and, critically, on the roof of the van. This wasn't a problem until father braked. However, when he did, the snow slid forward off the roof and covered the entire windscreen. He couldn't see anything at all. Were there other vehicles in close proximity? Father couldn't tell. Were there pedestrians desperately leaping out the way of the kidney choppers? He didn't know. Was there a psychotic snowman ready to pounce? There was no way to be sure. Father therefore crossed his fingers, rubbed his lucky rabbit foot and somehow managed to stop the vehicle safely. What a relief. Now, this Austin A35 van was a good, solid, reliable vehicle. Generally. However, one day it struggled to climb a very steep hill. The day after that, it struggled to climb a modest hill, and the day after that, it struggled to move at all. The van was therefore taken to a mechanic who was so concerned he jumped into action straight away. Well, he had lunch first, obviously, and then a quick snooze, and then he went on holiday for a week. But when he got back, he immediately diagnosed the fault. The clutch was worn out. And look, here's the repair bill for £10, 18 shillings and 4 pence. Note too that by the time the clutch failed, the van had covered 45,838 miles. Okay, we have another interesting document to consider. This is the Austin A35 MOT Certificate from October 1966. Now, among other things, it's interesting to note this paragraph at the top of the certificate. Whereas it makes perfect sense, the writing style is clearly old-fashioned and a far more complicated style than we use today. I'll just give you a quick sample. It says, the motor vehicle of which the registration mark is blah 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 blah, having been examined under Section 65 of the Road Traffic Act 1960, it is hereby certified that at the date of the examination thereof, the statutory requirements prescribed and blah 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 blah. In comparison, hang on, this is the MOT certificate for my current car, which is parked just over there, and it says pass. Anyway, the Austin A35 van stayed in the family until 1968. It was then traded in for the grand total of £100 for this 1961 Hillman Minx. That turned out to be a mistake. In fact, it was so much of a mistake that I've made a separate video about that car. There's a link in the description of this video that takes you straight to it. And that's it. That's the story of the Austin A35 van. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That makes it easier to find my other videos, and among many other things, there's more classic car stuff. You can also ask any questions in the comments section. Oh, and do me a favour and click like on this video. Right, that's all for now. Oh no. It's starting to snow.